We're going to do Mr. NHI's human identity in the hot seat, where I'm going to fire 10 machine speed, thought-provoking questions on identity management and security. So, Marius, are you ready?
Yes, let's go.
All right. Are we repeating the past mistakes of managing NHIs now with AI agents?
I think so. I think, the problem that we are, I think, facing nowadays, and I've been talking through various my LinkedIn posts, is that the industry moving in a way to solve problems with the new shiny tools, but covering basics, fundamentals, or however you call them, is still an important aspect that is often overlooked with especially those who are coming new into the industry. So hopefully we can pass the message far and wide about that.
Great. And would you say IAM for AI is more important than AI for IAM?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's the kind of the phrase been coined recently in our industry that identity is becoming the new perimeter.
Hmm.
Identity attacks are always on a rise, and good identity governance. I always talk about there's two cybersecurity programs that are probably the hardest to implement. That's DLP and IAM.
Right. Now, do you think AI agents are currently being deployed without security guardrails going into production?
I think so. There's definitely a lot of use cases. I think we recently saw the rise of the name changed from Clawbot to OpenClaw and all kinds of other names, but
Hmm.
you know uh, the uptake of it and the proliferation obviously sparked various concerns. I think that the creators themselves recently came out to say that this is not for non-technical people. I think the problem is with people experimenting and playing around with it. It's cool, but all of a sudden, those solutions appearing in your production without understanding how to secure and harden them creates potentially a lot of problems for us.
Yeah, great answer. Now, do you think agentic AI security equals NHI security?
No, I don't think that necessarily equals both, because I think agentic AI security, there's a lot more than non-human identity to be discussed and talked about.
Hmm.
And I think another thing which we often do not talk often enough, our move towards AI requires a lot more involvement from the business outside of just security. We're talking about bias, we're talking about ethical boundaries.
Hmm.
There's a lot more things to understand, discuss, and decide within the business before we take that leap into AI. But I think the common statistic shows that, I think the recent paperwork said that out of Fortune 500, there's a large number of organizations experimenting with AI, but I think only about 5% of them went into production because they're testing, but still not are sure about the security requirements for it.
Hmm. Yeah, look, that's some great thoughts. So we definitely will deep dive into that
Yep.
through the discussion. Do you think AI agents behave more like employees or software?
I don't think they behave more like employees. I think they're more like software, more like machines, because they obviously we've seen examples. They have a sometimes mind of its own, and guardrail creation is an important aspect in that space. But I don't think they necessarily can perform like employees. There are benefits of AI agents because they can, complete repetitive tasks at scale and work 24/7, which normal
Hmm.
employees can't do. There's also risks and dangers which we've seen in the industry that they bring.
Great. And do you think static, long-lived credentials, secrets will still be here in 5 years' time?
I would hope to say that they won't, but I don't think that's as simple as that. I think, there are risks and dangers that we probably discussed 10 years ago that are still prevalent now. And I don't think that's, going to be solved anytime soon, but hopefully it's going to be a lot less than we have now.
Okay, this is an interesting one. Do you think AI agents will eventually need to have proper background checks like humans?
Potentially, I think we'll need to develop standards and understanding sort of how we can assess and verify not only their access but their their how they've been trained, how they've been developed, and how they are constrained. Because I think there's a lot of understanding need to be done in that space. Obviously, technology is moving very rapidly, and we as security professionals need to upskill ourselves. I always say, I don't think AI will replace people, but people who can use AI will replace those who can't use AI.
Oh, great answer. Do you think regulators will be able to move fast enough to keep up with AI agents and agentic AI?
I don't think so. I think regulation is always something that sort of staggers behind the innovation. And in a way, sometimes it's good because we need to kind of settle down the new technology, understand its sort of perils, risks, and benefits before we can drop regulations on it and compliance requirements. And we need to be careful. I think there's often that kind of discussion separation between Europe and US. US is trying to deregulate a lot of things, and that's why they're moving at pace. While
Mhm.
Europe tried to regulate everything, and that's why sometimes innovation and speed to market lags behind in Europe.
That's some great insights there. Okay, will the AI agent digital workforce lead to mass unemployment?
Potentially, but again, there are bets that companies making in this space, which I think are in a way backfiring. We've seen companies replacing marketing departments,
Mm,
account management departments with AI agents, and then quickly understanding that AI agents do not have soul, do not have the same communication skills and relationship building capability that humans have.
mm,
And then they're scrambling to rehire those teams. So it's definitely going to change the way we work. And it's definitely, we've seen, for example, in SOC space, that sort of tier one SOC analyst roles are disappearing. And it's a real problem because nowadays that's kind of been the of the most important entry levels for newcomers coming in. Now, if that disappears, how do we still get people into cyber? So I think we need to rethink how we're going to still grow talent, and how is this going to reshape the new sort of working world.
yeah, it's fascinating. Just as an aside, Thorla, who's also on this show at the moment as our digital marketing lead, came from a non-technical background, and in the last week she's been playing with Claude Cowork and already
Mm.
built her first app for tracking some of our activities. Just
Mm.
the power that you can get. So I think there will be a realignment of uh, kind of what people do, but I still
Yeah,
think yes,
definitely.
there will be some unemployment for sure. Look, and the final question: do you think CISOs in general are ready for the fleet of autonomous digital employees that are going to be hitting their organizations?
I don't think we are ready now, but I see a lot of CISOs are upskilling and developing the right knowledge, the right understanding. I often discussed and coined this phrase amongst other CISOs and leaders. We always sort of complain that we're not getting a seat at the table or getting access to the board.
Mm,
And stifling or being scared of AI innovation, I think, is not the way to go. So, us being able to be aware and understand how AI could be secured and leveraged in the business puts us at the sort of at the forefront of AI innovation and why AI sort of embedding across the business with security in mind. So I always say this is the kind of the key way to get a seat at the table while becoming advisor to the business and lead of AI adoption with security in mind. So I see that's kind of the change that could really help us elevate into the boards, into the executives, while being pragmatic and practical about AI advice.
Okay, great insights there, Marius. Very revealing, and I think this is a great segue into our main topic.